Good day, folks. Once again, we're joining you for another session here, and today we have with us Sahar Bani. Sahar Bani is a very qualified professional, and she has come out a long way in her Canadian journey. And rather than me telling about her, I'll start off by letting her give a little bit of an introduction about yourself. So, Sahar, if you can give a little bit of an introduction about yourself first.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Sahar Gaya. I am married. My husband may take may ask why I'm still calling myself
So
Rabbani.
a little correction because me and Sahar go back a long way back to
Yes,
school time. So I remember as
yes.
Sahar Bani. So, but yeah, but Sahar Gaya,
And
my mistake.
I've known Saad since I was, I think, in grade 6, which was
Yeah.
a very long time ago. Too long. Don't want to talk about the number of years. But anyway, so my name is Sahar Gaya, and I am. I have been in Canada now for the past 17 years, almost 18 years. And Saad asked me to share a little bit about my journey of how I am where I am and what my journey was like over the number of years that I've been here in Canada, coming from Pakistan. So originally from Pakistan, came here in 2003 with my husband and 2 small kids. One was 5, one was 2. We had no family here. In terms of immediate family, we had far off relatives, but we were here completely on our own. My husband found a job first. Initially, I was looking around for a job, tried to see if I could find something, but I did have one child who was just starting school and one who was not in school at that point. I chose at that point to enhance my studies because I thought maybe that was one option of getting into the sort of working environment by improving on my studies. So I had a bachelor's in accounting and finance from the University of London, and I chose to do my CPA CGA in order to sort of add value to that. Did think about what I should do. Should I become a teacher, go down a route of going to teachers college, or did I want to go into accounting as a profession? And I fell into accounting as a profession out of choice. Got a job within a year working for a small financial institution, doing personal tax returns, some corporate tax returns for small businesses, assistance with strategy and planning, again for very small businesses. And while I was working there, I continued to do my CPA CGA along with the 2 kids underfoot. Funny thing that I will point out, and I think it's something important to point out because immigrants, when they come here, they don't realize that it is a hard journey. I used to make enough to pay for my gas and my car insurance and my car lease fees and my daughter's daycare. And at the end of the month, I'd have $100 left over.
Wow.
And that was all I made. So initially for the first year, I was basically paying to go to work because I was not saving any money. Things became better as I went along in my CPA CGA. I met people. I met lots and lots of people through my network. When you join an institution here to study, you meet people through that. And I would encourage everyone to attend their conferences, attend their meetings, and get to know other people. You have to put yourself out there when you're there. When you meet people, you have to talk to people. You have to take the first initiative and say, hello, my name is so-and-so. This is what I do. Who are you? And so forth. Through those connections, I met someone who worked at EY, Ernst & Young. And she said to me, there is an opening. Would you be interested in applying? I said, do you know someone? She said, no, I don't, but I can send you the link. And it was as simple as that. I applied for a position at Ernst & Young as a financial management associate, which was more on the internal side. So looking after the internal finances of EY for the partners. And I joined them, left this small service provider and joined them. I was still doing my CPA at that time. From there on, I moved into tax within EY and have been in tax for the past 14, 15 years now. I worked in EY for about 9 years, left there as a senior manager, went to work for Deloitte for a year as a senior manager, and now I work for a commodities trading and mining company called Glencore, where I joined initially their Canadian office as a transfer pricing lead, and now I work out of the US office, the New York office for the past couple of years, again doing transfer pricing and tax services, being their senior counsel there for the company. It's not been an easy journey. It's a hard journey. I will tell you, there are always bumps, there are always ups and downs, but you just have to keep at it and keep going. And hard work does pay off.
For sure. So, Saha, you did mention that, and I like the way that you put it, that you actually paid to go to work, and I think that's more of a more strategic decision, because you have to see, okay, I'm investing in myself now, which might help me in the future, right?
That is correct. That is correct. So as I said, for at least a year, maybe even two, that's how it worked. I'd never had any money left over after I paid. Yes, I had a car. My daughter went to daycare, but I had no money. But I got valuable experience, and it was definitely not. It was a small. It was a very great. It was a great place to work at. But I didn't want to be there forever. I wanted to do more. But you have to sometimes start small in
Yeah,
order to move over to the next level. And
perfect.
yeah, that's something you need to prepare yourself when you come here as immigrant, that you may not get the job that you are going to get or would have got in Pakistan or wherever else you're coming from. But if you work hard, they will recognize your abilities and you will move up very quickly.
Perfect. There's one more aspect about you, Sahar, which is a very interesting, which I find, which is your fitness freakness, if I may say. So, what got you into that, and
Um,
how does it help you? And because I know you've been in marathons and you've done competitive. So, what's all that about?
So I started running as a stress releaser because two children, husband, myself, all alone here, studying, working full time. The stress sort of adds up. And so I started by running. I joined the running room and I started by doing 5K, maybe 3K, 4K, 5K. And then I really, really enjoyed it. And now I run half marathons. I ran 5 last year,
Oh,
and it's a great way of keeping your body as well as your mind healthy, especially when there's so much stress of trying to manage your life. And I would say that now it's become a routine and it's become a habit, but initially it was to act as a stress reliever. But it's really important to keep doing that because it does help a lot in balancing your your life, your instead of just working all the time. And I'll tell you something very interesting. It's a great conversation opener. So when you meet new people, and you'd be surprised how many people are interested in exercise, and especially in Canada, and who do all kinds of things, not necessarily running, but skiing and I don't know, sailing and other things. And you sort of talk to people, new people, people you work with, people you're wanting to make connections with or networking with. And if you tell them that you do some form of exercise, it acts as a real great opener to a conversation, to getting to know new people.
perfect. Thank you so much for that insight as well. One last question for you, sir, and that is advice for the younger kids who are entering the market. I know this, we normally focus on immigrants, but I know there are families out there who have their children growing up in the 16, 17, 18, 19 bracket, and I know your kids are in a similar situation. Your son just graduated, now is working with Scotia. What and how would you advise them to approach their careers and their approach in life?
So my kids came here when they were very young, so they did all their schooling here. One thing I will say is that when they went to schools, they made a lot of connections there, and we encouraged them to meet all kinds of people, make all kinds of friends, and sort of try and get to know a lot more people. They went over to their friends' homes, whether they were Pakistani or Indian or Canadians or any, it didn't matter. And they got to know the way they live as well. It helped them because when they went to university and met a bunch of other people, they were very comfortable moving around in different types of environments. My son graduated last year and then he started applying for jobs. And I did sit down with him and spend time with him doing interview prep. So I looked at his resume, I helped him put it together. I talked to him about what are the key tips or key points that he needs to bring across. So did my husband. So it's not just me. We sort of worked with him on helping him with, finding his footing in a career. Being connected to your children is really important. Getting to knowing who their friends are, where they are, who they meet, what they're thinking about, what they're wanting to do is important. As an example, and I think Sadak shared with you before, my son's done a degree in history and philosophy, which as a DC parent is definitely not what we would do. I'm an accountant. My husband's an engineer by profession, so it was something that we were not used to, and we said we said okay, fine, go ahead and do it, but you need to explain to us how you're going to use it. the interesting part is that because of philosophy and history, his writing skills are far superior, I would say, to someone who hasn't studied those subjects, because of the fact that he has to write a lot. And when he went into his Scotiabank interview, I think they leveraged the fact that his ability to communicate was quite
Always.
mature for his age, and they used that ability. So it's interesting because obviously Scotia was, because he's in the data analytics group, Scotia was looking for someone who they wanted to fulfill different roles within that group, and he fit into a space where he could look at things and put them together into a format which could be communicated to the stakeholders.
Nice.
So, the fact is to keep the dialogue open, keep talking to them, help them out as much as you can in their journey into moving into their careers.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sahar, for taking the time out on a Friday morning. It's a holiday here, but still, you took the time out. I hope you go out for your run now, and
Yes.
waiting to do that. So really appreciate that, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.